Around 200 files it completed over the past 18 months, amongst other measures.
Now, this is in an effort to regain the public's trust after it suffered reputational damage following allegations of misconduct in the work it did for Gupta-linked companies. Last week, two of KPMG's partners, Sipho Malaba and Dumi Tshuma, resigned with immediate effect.
And actually, the two had been facing disciplinary charges related to work done for VBS Mutual Bank. Now, the firm held a press briefing in Johannesburg today.
KPMG says it is deeply disappointed that it is once again in the news for the wrong reasons. The resignations of Sipho Malaba and Dumi Tshuma have brought into question the rot into the auditing firm, especially at a time when the company is trying to pull itself out of a reputational glut. CEO Dlomu says both cases were connected to VBS Bank and the partners' failure to comply with the firm's policies.
We've got policies and procedures that require people to declare financial interests. Not all of those were followed, so we were not satisfied with that. Also, to Prof's point, part of our responsibility is to make sure that we actually not only just follow procedures, but we also act with integrity. So when questions were asked, not all the information was provided to us, and it was felt that some of the information was misleading. So this is shocking for us and disappointing.
The auditing firm says the big banks that it audits, which include Barclays Africa and Investec, have not been affected by the latest developments. The South African Reserve Bank, which placed VBS under curatorship, has now also commissioned a forensic investigation into the bank's business affairs.
What we have actually sought to do is to directly, when the issues were raised with us, we went and spoke to our clients. So where they have been involved, we've had those conversations. We've checked that the work that was done in this period was properly reviewed. We also offered to do additional reviews, and so we're working quite closely with our clients to ensure that there is reassurance, not just by a word, but indeed in the actions that we had taken while they were there, and the actions that we're continuing to take.
The firm says it will take what it calls unprecedented steps to gain public trust. These include reopening files completed in the last 18 months and conducting background checks on all partners and their spouses. It has so far lost less than 10% of its client base since September 2017.
We are undertaking this unprecedented step of reviewing all the audit files, say for the last 18 months, selectively, to make sure that we cover each partner, to make sure that the quality work of each partner is reviewed under this process. This goes beyond the normal review of an audit file by a second partner or monitoring by KPMG International or equivalent of that. It goes beyond that. We want a more comprehensive review of those files to make sure that we reduce this possibility of something of another VBS coming up.
KPMG has given assurance that an investigation into Malaba and Tshuma will still continue even though they have resigned, and that additional members will be added to the board of directors in order to strengthen its corporate governance. Sipho, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Now, joining us on the line from Bloemfontein is a member of Parliament's Committee on Public Accounts, known as SCOPA, David Ross. A very good evening to you, Mr. Ross. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome. Last October, you called for a review of all the KPMG contracts, particularly with the state. So do you think the undertaking by the company to review all the work done by its partners over the past 18 months goes far enough?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction. What we call the call for unprecedented review of all the work done in the past with its partners in the last 18 months. And I think KPMG needs to be applauded for this. But for me, it comes rather late in the day. As you correctly said, it was on the 15th of October in 2017 that I made the proposal in SCOPA that all documentation and reports, which is Gupta-related, with the Gupta-related companies doing business with the state, should be revisited, and there should be a comprehensive review. Now, we are 6 months down the line, and I appreciate that Chairperson Wiseman Nakulu has made this announcement. But certainly, I would like to assess the progress done since we called for that in SCOPA, and I believe it was accepted by SCOPA, to say that we need this review in terms of the possible failures of KPMG that could pose a risk to the state. And I'm saying this in the context of KPMG that has entered into 1,301 projects with the state and constitutional institutions in the last year, and then very close to 4,000 projects over the last 3 years. Now, it is very clear from the presence of a systemic problem, perhaps in KPMG, that could pose a risk to the state. And I think the new problems with VBS Bank would also necessitate perhaps KPMG to come down to SCOPA and explain to us what the implication of the latest scandal is.
Now, the KPMG chairperson, Wiseman Nkutlu, did state that the auditing firm will launch an unprecedented review in order to attempt to regain public trust. Just how bad is the reputational damage against the company at this point, and can it really be rescued?
Well, we hope that they can correct it, and certainly there's a huge role not only for KPMG to redeem themselves, but also for regulators in checking the work done against the standards. We see that we have a heavily regulated industry currently. We have the international financial reporting standards that needs to be adhered to, but then we have the IRBA regulations as well as the SAICA regulations, and certainly then just SCOPA as a watchdog overseeing the progress in terms of the implications for the state and for the public at large. And we've seen not so good news in terms of Steinhoff, African Bank, and now VBS. And certainly the pattern is disturbing for us as SCOPA members. And we believe that we should take up the challenges and see what the regulators are doing, but also that the auditing firms, which play a crucial role in terms of properly audited information with regard to financial markets and how financial markets can function. And audited information is needed to access loans, and government can only take confident policy decisions based on audited statements. So we would also like to speak to KPMG again, and to verify what the position is currently.
And the company has been rocked by a series of scandals, ranging from the SARS rogue unit report to the recent executive resignations amid the VBS Mutual Bank accounting shortcomings. Have you seen the end of KPMG troubles?
Well, that is the concern. As I've indicated, I think that the review, the announcement of the review has come late in the day. It is 6 months ago that I made the call that the documentation and reports of Gupta-related companies should be revisited. And it is unacceptable for auditors to claim to assist state departments and entities but fail to report irregularities as required by law. And we would like to make sure that these projects where the states are involved are properly revisited, and that we can that the company can redeem itself, and certainly that we can look at regulations that needs to be addressed.
What does the future hold now for KPMG operations in South Africa?
Well, we've seen that some drastic decisions were taken at KPMG itself in terms of the senior management with regards to the Gupta enterprises. About 6 or 8 of these top officials left KPMG. We've seen the further 2 suspensions, which is quite disturbing. And I believe KPMG has a lot to answer, and not only perhaps to SCOPA, but also to the public of South Africa with regards to what is happening in KPMG. And we hope that they can redeem themselves. It's quite important that KPMG, such a reputable firm, needs to redeem themselves and to play the role that is expected of KPMG in enhancing economic growth in the country.
In that article that you penned last year, you did say that the KPMG dealing with the state poses a major risk to the state. Indulges on what kind of risks there are?
Well, you can imagine if you look at the number of projects where KPMG is involved, and if irregularities and red flags are not issued timelessly, and red flags particularly to the debt situation of state entities and SOEs, and then also private firms with which the state are doing business. If that is not properly red flag, it could be misleading. And also assessing the irregular expenditure and unauthorized expenditure. It's just very, very important that we have a high quality of ethical work within our auditing firms, and that the auditing firms live up to the reputation that's expected.
David Ross, thank you so much for update. That was David Ross from the Member of Parliament Committee on Public Accounts known as SCOPA. He was speaking to us live from Bloemfontein. All right, let's go for an air break now.